Today's the day. It's a big day. It's a big day. Well, I don't know if it's a big day for me or a big day for you or whatever, but today's the day. I'm going to show you all about our Dirtbox Overland Canopy. And let me give you a little backstory first. When Katarina and I were looking at a Gladiator, and especially right when we picked this one up, we were trying to decide what we were going to do in the bed. Whether it was going to be a bed rack, it's going to be a topper, a soft topper, a hard topper, a rooftop tent, a canopy system like this. What were we going to do? And there are so many choices out there, and they range radically in price, from hundreds of dollars for a simple bed rack that you can put a rooftop tent on, which we already have a rooftop tent, so that would have been an easy way of going. But then you have everything open. And where we go, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, Colorado, one of the big things we deal with is dust. And we really didn't want everything always covered with dust. So we preferably wanted something that was enclosed to cut down on the dust. And in all of our research, everything that we were looking at, the one that came to the top of our list was this unit right here, the Dirtbox Overland Canopy. And we hadn't seen one in person yet, but it was at the top of our list of ones that we wanted to do more research on and potentially get. One of our viewers, like yourselves, Rich, reached out, said, "Hey, have you looked at the Dirtbox Overland?" I'm like, as a matter of fact, I had never heard of it at the time that he mentioned it. That's when we started researching it and it moved to the top of the list. And I'm like, my problem is I'm really concerned about the single hinge rooftop tent, because the downside of a single clamshell is that where the hinge is, you lose space. You know, it's going to come down to a point, and at some point your feet are not going to go in there. And so there's a section of space that's relatively unusable. And in all the single clamshell design tents that I had been in, I didn't fit. I'm too big. I'm 6'2", and my feet would come to the end, and to have my head all the way at the end, my feet would have to be turned sideways, and they were very uncomfortable. And he said, no, the Dirtbox is plenty long enough. You'll love it. And he has one. So he's like, would you like me to come over and show it to you? So he came over to the house, and Katarina and I looked at it. I got inside. I laid down. I'm like, okay, this is now at the top of the list now that I've seen it in person, how rugged it is, how well I fit inside, all that good stuff. And coincidentally, Dirtbox Overland reached out, asked us to come down, do a little factory tour. And at the end, we were convinced that this was the way to go. And within a week, we had it installed, and here she is. So why Dirtbox Overland Canopy? Well, compared to a lot of other systems out there, number one, it's rugged. It is super, super rugged. It's aluminum, but almost everything is T6 hardened. So it's very stiff. It doesn't flex. There's no rattles to it, no creaks to it. It is a really, really rugged system. For what we do and where we're going to go and my plans, having something that I can rely on to be rugged is key. So that was a big one. Number two, I had to fit. Well, I do. So that was a big concern. So that hit that box. Number three, not as important, but I think in a lot of people's minds, and including my own, aesthetics means something. And I like the lines, these little curved edges, the beveled corners. It just looks good and it looks beefy. So I like that. I like the look of it on top of everything else. Then another thing was it had to be, and I know this is a very, very relative word, affordable. You can get into a canopy system on the low end for around $5,000 or $6,000, and at the high end, $20,000, $25,000 to start. Right? You can easily get into $30,000 for a good canopy system. And one of the reasons why the costs start at some point and go up are accessories. And with most of the canopies out there, or these camper systems, shell systems, you are nickel and dime to death with accessories. And by that, I mean things like mounting brackets. That's an add-on almost everywhere else. This thing comes with mounting brackets everywhere. The hinge design. This thing has a very robust hinge design. The latches on here, very, very heavy duty latches on here. Everything about this just screams quality, and it has a lot of the things in it that you would pay extra for. The electrical system, the lights, all that stuff is included. Now, of course, there are options that you can get. Additional MOLLE panels, mounting brackets, water tanks. They have a plethora of accessories, but you don't need those to really get started. What you need are basics, things, places to mount things. That is super important. So I'm gonna walk you around, show you what's going on with this thing, how it works, some of the cool features of it, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm gonna start on this side. I'll show you some of the features that it has, which I think, again, separate it from a lot of the ones out there. We have the rooftop tent, which is all integrated. Access is actually from the inside, not a ladder. There is T-slots all over. So on the base, there are 2 T-slots here, pretty standard for mounting your shower or an awning, whatever it is that you can think of that you want to mount on the side. On the flip up side, there's a single track. This is good if you want to put on rack mounts for traction boards, kayaks, Starlink, whatever you want to put. You can put crossbars on here and attach stuff on here. On the doors, you've got 2 sets of L-track on here. So it's absolutely standard format. I bought a mount on Amazon to put on here and be able to mount these Bunker Industries traction boards. You see this reinforcement panel along the bottom. Not only does that just look good, but it adds to the rigidity of it. All the latches, every latch has a lock on it. Something you pay extra for at a lot of places. So we'll open this up. Very easy. We've got gas struts on the sides. Inside, we've got T-slots on the inside, L-slots on the outside. Lights, there's LED lights on both sides, and that's on both doors. They all have the same thing, so very handy. These things are super secure, and because of the T-track inside, the L-track outside, and this reinforcement, this thing is stiff. Again, going back to what I said about wanting something that is rugged, this thing is definitely rugged for sure. That's what I like about it. It feels beefy, it is beefy, and you're not paying an arm and a leg for it. I'm gonna touch on that. Base price on this is $10,500. And what I'm going to show you is included for that $10,500, okay? I don't have any extras on here that cost any additional money from Dirtbox. The only thing that you've seen on here that costs any extra are the mounts that I bought on Amazon to mount the traction boards. You want links to them, I'll put them in the description, but all the internal T-slots, the locking handles, that's all included. The LED lights, all included. So let's go around to the back. So on the back, we have a window, which is nice. I can see all the way through. There's a pass-through in the front. I'll show you that. We got a third brake light. I don't have that hooked up right now because I've got the third brake light here. I just need to wire that in. Haven't bothered to. And yeah, pretty nice. But again, we got the latches. This thing all lifts up. I'll show you how it deploys. To get in, we open the tailgate and open that. And again, we have T-slots in here. It's very handy. The locking mechanism, if you notice here, this is like an automotive door style post. So it latches on both sides. So if there's ever any flex, it's not gonna just pop loose like you see on some other units out there. So again, big upgrade. I like that. It's very secure when it's shut. Inside, we have more T-slot all the way around. All 3 sides has additional T-slots on it. And right now I have their DC to AC converter, or I mean AC to DC converter to power everything. It does take 200 watts of power to power the system, and that's just because not just the lights, but there's USB-C, USB-A ports. There's things in here that it's got to power. So it does have that, and I'm using that with the power station right now. So next, I'm going to show you inside, but first, we need to open it. So, show you how to open it. These latches actually have little safety latches in them. Pull them open. There we go. We're ready to go. It's really that easy. There's just not much to it. So let's go inside and take a look. Now inside here, we have another T-slot. So we could mount stuff up here. We have a T-slot up over here, and we have another LED light. There's even a grommet here. If I wanted to run some wiring in here, there's a grommet over here. There's a grommet over here. So if I wanted to get power inside or run lights outside, pretty easy to do it with how flexible they've made it. Now, normally when you get it, there's actually a ladder right here that folds down to get access in top. I've removed the ladder. I just think it's easier for me to move around, and the ladder is just going to take up space that I need for camping gear. So I don't have that. There is a little panel up here that opens so you can pass stuff up to someone who's up there. Maybe if you have the kids up there, you can pass them a drink or something. But then this panel just lifts up out of the way. Now I can stand up and work on the bed and do all that. So the bed itself moves up out of the way. That's pretty cool. The cool thing is how much space I actually have. As I said, I'm 6'2". I am standing in the bed of the Gladiator. I've got the tent pushed up out of the way. I can't reach the top. It's got to be 9 feet up there, I guess. And I can walk all the way to the front of the Gladiator bed before my head actually hits this. So I have tons of room back here to move around, walk around, do what I need to do. But this also adds another cool thing. With the tent up, we have this whole space up here. So I could set up a workbench. You know, when I'm working, I could have a standing desk. I could just put stuff up here while I'm maybe cooking dinner. I've got just lots of room to deal with stuff. I could even put Lucas up here if I was just working in the back here. I mean, it just gives you some extra working space, which is kind of nice. But let's get the tent down and get up inside of it and see what it's like up there. So this is my bed set up. I've got like a sheet. I got a couple blankets in here, nice and cozy. And all of this stays in here. I don't have to take this out when I fold it down. There's plenty of room above. I don't keep a pillow in here, but I could keep all my blankets in here without any problem, or a sleeping bag, something like that. Not a problem. Let's take a look at the mattress. The mattress is pretty nice. Well, I've got a sheet on it right now, but it's a good like 3-inch mattress. I've slept on it a few nights. Very comfortable. No complaints about the mattress. And like I said, there is a lot of room in here for me to just sleep. I'm very comfortable. Lucas and I have slept in here several nights, and it's been plenty comfortable. Now let's get up inside so I can show you kind of how everything else works. So right now I've got the 2 side windows open. Got a nice breeze coming through here. Very nice. On the side windows, the material is on the inside and the screen is on the outside. The back window is opposite. The screen's on the inside, the material's on the outside. I'll show you that in a little bit. On both sides, we have these pockets. So nice for, you know, storing your phone, your glasses, whatever. The top is insulated with this beautiful diamond weave texture on here. Very nice. Another LED strip up here. And these are fully dimmable. They're just a touch screen. You touch it to turn it on, and then you hold it down to change the dimness or brightness. Very handy. This material that the tent is made out of, this stuff is really, really thick. This is thicker than any tent that we own, including any rooftop tent that we've had in the past. This stuff is really thick material. And while I won't say it's insulating material, it holds the temperature better than any other tent that I've used. So when it was like 37 outside, it was very comfortable in here. We didn't have any problems. We had no wind noise. It was very, very comfortable inside. And these can roll up. There's little straps to hold everything down, keep it out of the way. Now, I'm going to show you the electrical system and some other stuff. Power unit here. Again, this plugs in to your power station. We've got, again, 12 volt power here. That'll be handy for maybe running a diesel heater. I got to see if that actually works. So I'll be testing that. The bottom switch turns on the power so you can power all the lights on the bottom. Upper switch, same up top, so you can power the lights up there. And again, we have USB-A and USB-C ports here as well. So up top here, we have the power modules for the top. We've got a 12 volt outlet with a switch here to turn everything on and off. Under this one, we have, let's see if I can get some light on this, USB-A and USB-C. I'm guessing that's probably a 40 to 60 watt USB-C, because when I'm using my MacBook Pro M1 Max and doing editing, which is very power hungry, it will run the MacBook without it losing power, but it's not enough to keep it running and charge up the batteries if they're low. So I sat at like 70% battery for 3 hours in here editing one night, and it worked just fine. Over here, we have this little pull-out. Looks like a little miniature 55-gallon drum, and it's like, well, an ashtray, basically. Just a cute little add-on they did because they call this generation of it the smokers group for some interesting reason. At the top, we've got these vents, help just keep the air circulating in here and keep everything nice and cozy. Let me show you how much space I have. Okay, now I do have my hiking boots on. Sorry, Katarina, that I got in here without taking my shoes off. And they are, a little bit bigger than my feet, and they're just touching the end of the canopy. So now I'll swing this around in a single shot to show you that I'm not editing anything. And there's my head. I have plenty of extra room ahead of me. Now, if I had my shoes off, I would actually be about here, which means I'm not even on that flip up section. So I have that much space in here, lots and lots of room for a big guy like me. So going back to a couple of the points I made earlier. Number one, I've got the room. I have plenty of space in here. It's a little cozy with Katarina, myself, and Lucas in here, but it's totally doable. We don't have any problems. The material, all that, super beefy, good construction, well built, lots of additional features. The power system, the lights, all the mounts that are in here, just really make it an exceptional system without spending any additional money on accessories. I love that. Now, let's go down and I'll show you some more stuff. So again, this is the outside. We can extend this. We could put our rain flies in here and hold this open if we wanted to. I got the rain fly rolled up there. And unlike pretty much every other tent on the market, this one does not come with cheesy little metal poles to hold everything up. It comes with some really robust, stout poles that are extendable, twist to lock into place. Stick them in here. and out comes the rain fly all the way out to here. If I wanted to just hold this up, I could just go vertically and extend that up if I wanted to. I can pull it out if I wanted to. So these give me a lot of flexibility in how I want to use the whole system. Let me get it in the right hole there. There we go. So I could have this come out as a little shade on both sides, extend this out as much as I want, lock it into place, and I'm good to go. So not just a rain fly, but you can open this door, just let some light in, super handy. I just love how well everything was thought out. Now, I will say there is one thing that we did add on top of the basic canopy, and that's the 270 awning. So I'm gonna show you that next. So let me show you how this guy works. Zipper on the front, zipper on the back. Just kind of get the bag up out of the way. 3 Velcro straps. And start pulling it out. Very cool. Material gets nice and tight. You've got legs all the way around should you need them because of the wind. I haven't needed them. I keep them up there. Haven't had any issue yet. If you're gonna get any rain, there's a little kickstand right here that you can pop up. Gives it a little more angle for the rain to run off. Super handy. And LED lights all over the place that are plugged in inside. So super cool. Now this option I want to think is like $1,299. Super robust as well. Now I know that they have had this open and went driving down a trail to test it. Don't recommend it, not suggested. Do not do that just because you can, but that's how they test this stuff. They really abuse their products to make sure that they're going to hold up in real world use. Something I'm very, very happy with Dirtbox. It also has this little storage bag. It's got 2 little mesh pockets and a zipper pocket on here. Super handy. Very impressed with this design. So I'm going to put this down, and when I do, I'm going to talk about putting it away, which is another nice benefit that it has that I don't see on other awnings. So I'm just gonna put it in place over here. Oops, get that leg back in place. And I'm gonna start pulling this bag a little over the top so I can get to it, make sure my Velcro straps aren't hidden underneath. Now, this bag is oversized. It is definitely bigger than it needs to be to store this. If you've ever put away an awning when it's cold, when it's windy, when things are wet, you know how big of a pain things can be to get as tight as they need to be to fit into their awning bags. That is not a problem with the Dirtbox canopy. There is so much additional room that it just makes packing this thing up really, really nice. The only thing I want to make sure I do is keep those Velcro straps up out of the way so I can tie them down. Again, the Velcro straps, plenty long enough that I'm not having to fight this thing to put it away. It becomes a one-man job to deploy and stow. Unlike others, I'm not going to mention names, but others where the straps are really short and you have to have everything absolutely perfect to get it back in here. And often is a two-person job. You can see how easy that was and how much extra space is in this bag to close it up. And we're done. It's just that easy. Super impressed. And this is mounted to the T-slots on the bottom of the canopy. Super secure, super functional, super rugged. Really couldn't be happier. So now it's just time to put the canopy away. Now, I didn't show it, but inside there's actually some bungee straps that can help pull things in if you're having trouble putting the tent away. I don't use that. I'll show you what I do instead. I do keep the rain fly tucked up there. You saw all my bedding is on inside. Just give this a tug down, start pushing everything into place. Make sure my windows aren't interfering. Good, everything's nice and flat. And because I'm a big guy, I can just give it a big old hug and put it away. Just like that. Tuck everything in. Bring it down nice and slow. Give it a nice push. And then we have these super beefy latches to pull it down into place. Again, I mentioned that these things do have a locking mechanism on it. Got to pull the pin, put it in place, give it a little tug back, make sure it's locked. And silly me, I missed some material over here. Just gonna tuck that back in. There we go. Get the latches back in place. Make sure they're locked. Good. Lock that one. Now, on top of this are L-track. So if I wanted to, again, mount something else up here, whether it be crossbars, solar panels, water tanks, or whatever, there's L-track down both sides of this. Not only does it add functionality, it adds rigidness to the whole thing, making sure that this thing is nice and stout. So, that's our Dirtbox Overland Canopy. Hope you enjoyed the walk around. We haven't done anything inside yet. This will all get built out somehow, some way. We need to go out and use it. Figure out, okay, what things do we actually take? What things can we leave behind? I definitely overpack. Katarina severely overpacks. So we just got to figure out what we're doing to just figure out what we need. And that's kind of the joy and fun of camping, is figuring out what do you need? What do you have to have with you? What are those things that you absolutely have to have? The things that you need to have, but you may never use. And then the stuff that you're just never going to use it and it needs to stay at home. So one last thing, need to put this away. Tailgate first, bring this down, push it into place, and it's latched. So your question may be, how do you get out of it, right? Well, that's it's an interesting thing, right? There's no real latch inside because you really need to open the tailgate first in most cases. However, they have recently redesigned the bottom of this. So when you are inside, you can squeeze on that, pulls the pins, unlatches it, and one nice tug, and this thing opens up pretty easily. It's just gonna come out, pop open. Your tailgate will be open. Just reach over, grab this, and flip it down. Some people, what they've done is they've cut a hole in their tailgate somewhere, either on the bottom or the side, added a strap to go up to the pin up here. So when they're inside, they can pull that strap and latches this, they push the tailgate down, and then they reach over and open it. Whatever's easiest for you. There's a number of different options. I can just open it easily from inside, just a little nudge, pops open, but I can feel secure inside when it's like that. So that's our canopy. We love it. We're happy with it. We feel we made the right choice in picking this guy up, and I cannot wait for some adventures with it. I've already taken it on one, but there's more to come, so stay tuned. You know what? Maybe you should subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That way you don't miss out on any new adventures that we do. Definitely appreciate that, and appreciate all the subscribers that we have already and the people who support us on Patreon. Really makes it possible for us to do what we do. We thank you very much. Look forward to more videos. And as always, stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the trails.